And we're back. Welcome back to the Retirement Dakota podcast with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. And with me today, I have Associate Advisor Max Wren. Say hello, Max Wren.
Hello, Max Wren.
And Max Wren, we have a question today. Today's question comes from Karen in Mount Prospect, Illinois. Now, most folks, I think, that listen to the podcast by now may have figured out we are in Chicago. We are right near O'Hare International Airport, just about a 7-minute Uber ride to the northeast, although you could almost see it from our offices. I guess if you went to the 10th floor where Valspar is, we're in the Valspar building.
Yeah.
Go to the 10th floor, you could probably see the control towers up there.
Yeah, when we were flying back 2 weeks ago, we could see our office. I was like, hey, that's where we work.
You were flying back from a high net worth symposium out in Kansas.
Got to learn all kinds of cool financial planning stuff.
Yeah, and as you come back in, they have a couple patterns. They fly over Lake Michigan as they turn back. They want to have the winds in their face. The pilots do, and so they take kind of like a half a lap. They go out over Lake Michigan and curl back, and they call that the Cubs waypoint or something. They have a Bears route and they have a Cubs route. If they have you loop around the downtown kind of area, they do that. They call it the Bears because that's by Soldier Field.
Yeah,
and usually what I end up on is the Cubs route. Probably it's safer. It's away from the tall buildings more, and it goes around by Wrigley Field sort of, and then west, and you come right over to the top of our office. You've seen it from the plane, right?
Yep.
It's kind of cool to see your office building from the plane. And so we have, so now we're federally licensed, so we help folks all across the fruited plain. You can live anywhere in the United States or its territories, be a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Either way, it works just the same. We do help widows, widowers, married people. We help gay people, lesbian people. We help same-sex couples, mixed gender couples. What do you call it? Same-sex couples and mixed. I was gonna say mixed case, but that's typing. Instead of we help all caps couples. We help lowercase couples, mixed case couples. What do you call that? Anyway, opposite sex couples. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Everybody. So here we are, episode 71. Our question, though, comes from Karen of Mount Prospect, Illinois. Now, Max, Natalie, and I live in Mount Prospect. It's only about, our house is like 18 minutes from the office in rush hour. So that's pretty good, pretty close.
Yeah.
So Karen of Mount Prospect says, Max, how much can I safely withdraw from my retirement accounts without running out of money? ?
It depends.
It's the age-old question, right?
Yeah, we get this asked quite a bit. A lot of people, they throw out that, then you got that 5% rule or that 4% rule.
The problem is the 4% rule is the one that people reference the most, and the 4% rule was proven true with air quotes. So if you're at tuckeryoutube.com, you can see my air quotes. We have a video podcast at tuckeryoutube.com. So if you're listening on the audio version, you can go to tuckeryoutube.com and get the video version. And so it was late 90s, I believe. It was the .com run up, and there was also high interest rates or yields on bonds. And so there's a gentleman, I can't remember the guy's name anymore, but he was the one who came up with the 4% rule.
Yeah.
He said, you've got so much in your retirement, you just take out 4% per year. You're never going to run out of money.
What's he say now about it, Scott?
Well, here's the deal. Go back to the late 90s. The internet deal was making the stock market run up. So he was projecting as if the stock market keeps doing what it's doing in the internet boom and never busts. Mm-hmm. The other thing he was doing, I think it was the 10-year treasury or something. It was yielding like 7% or some crazy
That'd
big number.
Nice.
Yeah, so just keep doing that forever. Hey, if the stock market keeps going up and the bond yield is always like 7% or whatever the number was, hey, you can take out 4% a year. You're never going to run out of money.
Yeah, folks, he says it doesn't work anymore, though.
Yeah,
the guy who said he came up with it says it doesn't work now.
Oh, he says it himself now.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It's like the guy who said like the wolves, and you got like the alpha wolf and stuff, and now he says all of that was bogus too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So. I didn't hear the gentleman himself. I forget his name, that he said it himself.
Yeah.
Now, there was a Vanguard study that came out maybe 2015-ish, and Vanguard disproved the 4% rule, and they said it's more like a 3% rule. Then about 10 years later, Vanguard or somebody else came out with another study, and they go, well, it's not a 3% rule. It's really like a 2% rule.
Yeah.
So you're getting to where now there have been other studies. There's a gentleman, David McKnight, that he came up with another study, and he showed how hedging strategies could enable you to take an 8% withdrawal rate, but that's not staying in the market or being on bonds. That was with a whole complicated thing of using some hedging strategies. So hedging strategies could actually allow you to have more income in retirement, potentially compliance, like when I say potentially max.
Yep.
Okay. So hedging strategies could potentially allow you to have a greater withdrawal rate where people think they need to be to get that 4% rate or that 8% rate. Ooh, that sounded good. They think they need to take more risk.
Yeah.
Folks all the time think they need to take more risk, but it's actually detrimental in that retirement stage to take more risk.
I've been there. One of those prior firms I was working at, all those clients were pushed into the stock market. And guess what? We were supposed to tell them, Scott, when the market was down.
Oh, stay in and put more money in?
Stay in. And guess what? If you're a retiree and if you were getting money from your portfolio, we were supposed to tell them to stop doing that. So
do what?
Stop taking money from your portfolio when markets were down.
So eat cat food and cut your pills in half?
Yeah, basically. If you want to be one of those couples that goes to the grocery stores and is looking at the price of rice and beans every day, hey, maybe that's your cup of tea. But I think that's a really crappy plan. And I think that to be instructed to tell that to your clientele, I that would a slap in the face, you know?
We can't say what firm that is. I happen to know, but I had not heard that story before.
Yeah, it is absolutely, what a tone deaf message. And I mean, I get it when you grow that big, it's a bit of a machine and just plug and play. Everyone's in the same portfolio and you're not doing the financial planning or anything like that. So it's really easy to try to tell, those Jedi mind tricks to convince people. But again, what a slap in the face! You're living your golden years. And you're telling them to stop taking money from the portfolio.
You're telling somebody 75, 80 years of age to save their whole life.
Yep.
You told them to stay in which we don't. This is not what we do. What that firm did, where they say just keep it all in stocks. I don't want to hear about bonds. You keep it all in stocks. When the market's down, let's turn off your income.
Yep.
Figure out how to pay your bills off of your Social Security.
Yeah.
Social Security, for most Americans, Social Security is only going to cover 40% of retirement expenses.
So imagine you're living your golden years. You're needing a little more money from your portfolio to supplement your lifestyle. And now you're being told, don't do that vacation.
Not even vacation.
Yeah, don't do that vacation.
Don't buy groceries.
Don't buy this for your grandkids. Just wait for the market to come back. It'll come back. So.
Well, most Americans find that Social Security by itself, if we were just to focus on Social Security, forget about pensions and things, most Americans, studies have found Social Security would only cover about 40% of their income needs for retirement.
Yep.
So not even about vacations and Christmas and all this stuff or trips to Disney World or whatever. This is like your property taxes for your house. This is your grocery money, your gas money, auto repairs, heating your home. I guess did I say utilities already? Oh, goodness.
The thing is we've been spoiled with such a great bull market.
Yeah.
Bull market, folks, is just an up market since about 2009?
I'd say 2009 because there was that big collapse from fall 2007 to spring 2009.
Yeah. So now, we've seen this market run up so long and so far up that
17 years.
Now people that are in equities right now, it's more than stocks. It's more than it's ever been in history.
Every time Max says equities, I make him go back and say stocks. You can't see it, but I just hit him with the cattle prod.
But again, we've been spoiled. We've seen investor euphoria just completely take over the market. We're seeing bubbles all over. And when we do see this bull market stop, it's going to be really ugly. You're going to see, 2008, people were jumping out of windows, for Christ's sake. So
yeah, we say that like I have pretty good, strong memory. I don't know if you do about 2008, but we say that people were jumping out of windows, but actually here in Chicago, people were jumping out of windows of office buildings. People were, these aren't the greatest stories for if you're eating breakfast, but people were jumping in front of commuter trains. This is the sort of stuff that was happening back then. And of course, suicide's never the answer, right? But I don't even want to have folks depressed or anxious, let alone suicidal over money.
Right.
There's no need for it.
And it's just this risk-taking mentality. I know we're very Warren Buffett-centric with how we approach, just being very, very, very risk-adverse and, being risk managers at the end of the day. But yeah, everyone's, taking way more risk than they need to and risking what they have for what they don't need. And it's just really scary to see as an advisor.
I would say we do a few things like Warren Buffett and a couple things different. One thing where we agree with Warren Buffett is we like value stocks that pay dividends. We like shorter term treasuries and that. So we avoid, if you have a long term treasury, like a 30-year treasury bill, you're locking in an interest rate. And what if inflation in the Fed has to raise rates? You're going to get clobbered. You're going to lose market value like crazy. Maybe you do some sort of like a 1-year instrument or 2-year instrument, something like that. You're a lot safer there on the bond yields and the market value of those instruments, and corporate bonds, investment grade corporate bonds as well. When it comes to the stocks, or Max would say equities, as it comes to the stocks, because I think when you say equities, not everybody understands equities, so we could call it stocks. But when we go to stocks, though, a lot of people like the sexy growth stocks, but those are the boom bust ones. And we gain life experience. We get to be 55, 70 and beyond. We can't afford a big crash. So when it comes to the stocks, like Warren Buffett, we prefer value stocks that pay dividends. And so that's a lot safer way to go. And you can actually make good money potentially on capital appreciation or appreciation of the stock price, but also having the dividends, which dividends are never guaranteed. They can be cut and eliminated and things like that. But that's a safe-ish way to go, safer than the other. And then something we do that's different than Warren Buffett, and you've got to figure Warren Buffett, what is even his net worth anymore? I don't even know anymore.
No clue.
If you know Warren Buffett's net worth, get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com and we'll talk about it. I just forget the number. I have so many numbers in my head all the time. But something with Warren Buffett is he doesn't place put options on his positions. Put option is the right to sell a security, like a stock or bond if it falls in value at the old price, more or less is the way I could say it. Say a stock's worth $100 and you had a put option that you'd paid some pennies for. The stock falls to $50. You could say, oh yeah, I should get out of that. Hey, I still have the right to sell that stock for $100, even though today's price is only $50. You can make the buyer buy it. And so you could say, oh, right, oh, okay, yeah, the stock's not worth what I thought it was, but I still have the right to sell it at yesterday's prices. So we do that. We do some other hedging strategies that Mr. Buffett wouldn't use.
Yep.
It doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't make him stupid. Doesn't make us better. For the families that we serve, it just makes us the right fit for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
If you're worth $1 billion or multiple billions of dollars, you don't really need to worry about a 50% drawdown in the market. You can wait a number of years for it to come back. I don't know how many years he'll be around, but you get the idea that if say if you were a 50-year-old and you're worth $1 billion, you go down to 500 million, you're still fine. You wait 10 years, you're back to $1 billion plus probably. So the families we serve usually have, we can help folks that are wealthier than this, but usually $5 million safe for retirement or less, down to usually around $500,000 safe for retirement. So usually $500,000 to $5 million, something like that. We will help folks less. We will help folks more. We do have a lot of times, Max, for folks above maybe $5 million safe for retirement, they don't feel the pain or the desire to change.
I think a lot of those folks too, they have no idea what's out there and what they can be doing.
That's true too.
They're
a lot of financial planners don't want to work very hard, which I don't like that that's the way it is. But I know a lot of financial planners that work really hard. I know there's like 10 times as many who don't. They do the minimum.
Yeah, most folks out there, just what they do know is the services being offered by the big box shops. And, I compared that to if you were buying a house, that would be like the equivalent of like living in a hut, living under the bridge, right? So you get what you pay for. You don't get what you don't pay for. So, those are really basic services where you don't really get much of planning or much of anything. And fortunately, that's mostly what people know. We had a couple up in Lake County, Illinois, recently, $20 million net worth, 16 million investable. Yep. 8 point something million of it tax deferred. We showed them how to save just round numbers, about $4 million in unnecessary federal income tax and save about $2 million in unnecessary state of Illinois estate tax, $6 million that we could save them potentially. And we would get that all accomplished in our 5-year proprietary tax planning process. And then they could cut us loose and go on with life or remain clients either way. And the gentleman said, well, I'm at Vanguard right now and I don't pay a fee because we'd have to charge an investment advisory fee. Otherwise, crazy. They're not going to keep the lights on and I'm going to have to eat cat food myself, you see, cut my bills in half.
So we said, you know, it's only, we weren't going to charge much either.
Oh.
And it's like, I'm not going to do it for free. I'm going to save you $6 million potentially in about $4 million in federal and $2 million in state. And you don't think $6 million is worth paying an investment advisory fee for 5 years?
It's like someone walking into a Ferrari store and be like, "Hey, I want a Ferrari, but I'm only willing to pay the price of a used car on $3,000 used car."
Or say like a Ferrari, or like you know how they have little Matchbox cars?
Yeah.
Or what are they? Matchbox and Hot Wheels and whatever. So say like Lamborghini. I know that Lamborghini. I'm not in the market for the Lamborghini. Don't get excited. But say like a Lamborghini is like $400,000,
Yep.
and you walk in with a Matchbox car that is like $10.
Yep.
And you go, well, I like that. I don't even know the models names. I used to at one point know the model names.
Yeah. It's,
What's the big fancy one? They change the model names every so often. I can't.
the Spider. That's a pretty popular.
Okay,
one.
say that. Is that $400,000 or what is that?
Probably.
Okay, so say I go in there and I had like the Hot Wheels version of the Lamborghini Spider or whatever it is, and
That's
say
Ferrari. But
Ferrari.
yeah.
Okay, guy walks into a car dealership, Matchbox car.
Yeah.
I want that $400,000 car, but I have a $10 budget. Do up the paperwork. Let's go.
Yeah.
I got $10 burning a hole in my pocket.
You're right. This is a car. That's a car.
Yeah.
Should be the same price.
So I thought it was funny, the gentleman and his wife, and it was more him that was in the way. A lot of times guys are in the way. And
Yeah,
we do help
pride, ego thing.
Yeah, and we do help single people, and we do help same-sex couples. Well, when we do help couples, typically the couples are male-female. That's most common still. And so, but it's just, so when that happens, a lot of times the gentleman is in the way. Once in a while, the lady's in the way.
Yeah.
That happens too. But the gentleman's in the way. He's like, well, you know, he was just stuck. I'm like, save you $6 million. And believe me, folks, we don't charge $6 million. If I could figure out how to charge $6 million to save $6 million in taxes, that'd be a good racket.
That'd be awesome.
But we don't do that. We charge an investment advisory fee like any firm would do. What we wanted that gentleman and his wife to understand is when you're at Vanguard, you don't own a Schwab fund, a Fidelity fund, T. Rowe Price fund, who would be a Wisdom Tree fund, Dimensional Fund Advisors. You don't own a DFA fund. When you're at Vanguard, you always are buying from the company store. So the reason why the advice is free at Vanguard is because it's conflicted advice. And that's not a slam on Vanguard. Vanguard does a lot of great things for a lot of people. We use some of their exchange traded funds and some of their mutual funds in some of our model portfolios, but we don't use Vanguard for everything because they're not always the right answer to every question. So when you have Vanguard or any of them, you could go to Schwab or Fidelity, whatever. When the advisor, you don't pay them a fee and they recommend only their own employer's funds, that is conflicted advice. And that's why we think independent advice is a better way to go. What we do for our clients is we use a third-party custodian. The SEC requires that of us, actually. I can't put your money in my checking account. That would be weird. So if you're already at Fidelity, we just add ourselves there as your advisor, and you can always remove us. 1-800-FIDELITY, whatever the number is, take us off. And so we use a third-party custodian, but then in our model portfolios, we might have 20 different fund families in one model portfolio or more. But we're not going to have all Vanguard, all Schwab, all Fidelity, any of that. And so it's not to pick on Vanguard. It's just an example we ran across recently. The gentleman did admit, he goes, you're right, at Vanguard, I only own Vanguard funds because that's what they always recommend. And Vanguard has a great selection of funds if that's what you want to do is on the investment side. But he said, you're right, though, Vanguard, he'd been with them decades.
Yeah, 20 years plus.
Yeah. And he said, but you're right, at Vanguard, they're not doing tax planning for the future. So Vanguard does a lot of great things, but they're not going to do all of the things. And I think, Max, we keep saying for baby boomers and Gen X folks and beyond, we're older than that, we're seeing the biggest opportunity for a lot of folks is in tax planning for the future.
Yeah. There's 1,700 incentives in the tax code that we're able to take advantage of, and we use about 100 of them for our clients.
Yeah.
And when we sit down with folks, they think it's just Roth conversions and tax loss harvesting.
We start rattling off the sections of the tax code that we use. Like, wait,
they're like, well, hold on, let me write that down. Folks, I'm going to say this right now. Even if you knew what these strategies were, trying to layer them in, trying to have 5 to 10 of them in one plan, you're going to screw something up. You're going to put yourself in a situation where there's going to be huge tax repercussions or what have you. I mean, there's a reason why, people with a lot of money hire people that are planners and, do this stuff every day. So
Yeah.
it's really hard.
There's a family in town that they're worth $19 billion. They have what's called a family office because there's 5 generations of this family, 4 of them living. The family's worth over $19 billion. That's actually what the number was 2 years ago. It's probably higher than that now, 19 point something billion dollars. They have a family office of 50 employees. These 50 employees do nothing but pay the bills, choose the investments, do the tax planning, set up the LLCs and the Nevada Corporation, the South Dakota Dynasty Trust, and the offshore, this and that. They have 50 people doing all these things because even if they knew what to do, you're not going to do that all. There's no way. One person. If one person could do it all, why do they have 50 employees?
Right.
If one person could do it, they just have one person.
Do you want to spend 60 hours a week reading financial data and economic news and earnings reports? Do you want to spend 100 hours per quarter reading about new regulation and legislation being passed? And
not even I want to do that, Max. That's why I have you working for me.
Right.
Yeah. So we have multiple financial advisors here. We have Max, we have Matt, we have Saeda, myself. We have an army of folks offsite as well at our registered investment advisor and also at our model portfolio managers. And it takes all of that. We have other advisors in Omaha. We have a CPA there that's really great, and also a bookkeeping company off the East Coast and stuff like that. So we call upon professionals to do it all we do. Not any one person here is going to do everything.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Probably have 200 to 400 people working towards our client relationships here. So
yeah, when you count all the registered investment advisor folks and and actually where the registered investment advisor is, there's like 1,100 people over there, and they're doing different things. Some of them are doing hedging strategies, different things. Not all of them in the RIA. Then we have the model portfolio people in North Carolina, and then we have some of the tax planning help we get. We got a couple gentlemen in Omaha for that. Then we have somebody on Long Island that helps us with cash balance plans for small business owners.
Yep.
So a lot of things, and if it were as easy as just watching a YouTube video, I wish everything was that easy.
Do you remember that couple we sat down with in the fall? Who it was a one-woman shop. She was doing absolutely everything for them, picking stocks and everything else like that.
She was a CPA and a CFP, and she was doing their tax returns and designing the portfolios and rebalancing the portfolio, which I don't think there's any way she's actually doing all that. I think she's dropping a lot of balls. Because she was designing the portfolios, rebalancing the portfolios, doing something or other with the statements, and she was doing the tax returns. There's no way she has to be dropping something.
Oh, she's dropping a lot.
I mean, we saw a couple things we knew she was dropping that I won't restate. Say even if she does 100 families, she takes care of 100 families by herself, she's either working 100 hours a week, or she's probably working less than that and dropping a lot.
Yeah, or outsourcing it to everybody and not telling you that. So
yeah, we saw a lot of things. We saw some things that weren't quite the way we'd want them. Say that much.
Yep.
Well, you wasted yet another perfectly good 23 minutes listening to the ramblings of a short bald man, namely yours truly, Scott Tucker. If you don't believe it, go to tuckeryoutube.com. You'll see I am both short and bald. I'm even short when I'm sitting down, Max. Max has all his hair.
Yep.
So also Associate Advisor Max Wren, Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Get on our phone calendar, 15 minutes for free over the telephone in the coming week with one of our financial planners. Max will get their questions answered, Dan.
And answers question.
And their answers question.
Got it.
We'll talk to you on the next episode.